Hey guys, it's Vicky, and today I am here with a book haul, which is kind of weird because normally this time of year in previous years, I usually don't buy a lot of books. Usually I get a few at Christmas time, and then I don't get any again until my birthday, which is at the end of March. But this year, I don't know if it's cabin fever or what, but I have just been buying books. So I have a little stack here that I want to share. A couple of them are from Target. One is from my grocery store that I saw in the clearance bin, had to get. And then the rest are from Second and Charles, which I hadn't been there in like a year and ventured out recently, and it felt so good to just go out by myself and book shop because I haven't done that in a long time. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first book that I picked up, these first couple are from Target. I picked up All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood. This is one that I've seen a lot of people talk about, and it's a book that people that love it absolutely love it, but they also say it's kind of hard to recommend because it deals with some pretty heavy subject matter, probably similar to like A Little Life, how people feel about recommending A Little Life because it's just like such an emotional book. I've heard this one is kind of like that. This one more so because it deals with a relationship between, I think, a teenage girl and a man. But when they meet, I believe she's a child, but then when she's a teen, they become more romantically involved. I think it has something to do with her parents are drug dealers or something like that, and this man works for them or is a friend of theirs or something like that, and that's how she sort of befriends him, and he kind of takes care of her when she's a child because she's very neglected and everything. But I've heard this book is so good, such good writing, very emotional. Sounds like something I would totally love, so I saw it at Target, I had to pick it up. And then kind of in the same vein, I also picked up My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This is another one people have mostly raved about that I have seen. It also deals with an inappropriate relationship between a teenage girl and one of her teachers. But I believe this one, it is more her as an adult, I think, reflecting on that relationship and realizing just how messed up it was and how manipulated she was and all of that sort of thing. So I think it deals with sort of the after effects of being in a relationship that you think at the time is appropriate. She probably thought she was in love and everything like that, but it was all because she was being manipulated by this adult. So again, tough topics, but again, I've heard this is fantastic, so I saw it and I had to get it. And then the last one that I picked up from Target is a fairly new release that I was really excited to hear about. I first heard about it on the Books in the Freezer podcast, and they're kind of like upcoming books for 2021. And this one's called Good Neighbors by Sarah Langan, and this is kind of I guess it's kind of a thriller, more of like a domestic thriller. It has to deal with this very like idyllic town where this family moves in. They're very unconventional and kind of shake things up. And then this sinkhole opens up and somebody falls into the sinkhole, and then the whole neighborhood, things kind of just spiral out of control, and it becomes like the neighbors are all sort of against each other. And that's just really fascinating to me because that kind of story gives me sort of vibes of like The Lottery by Shirley Jackson, or even there's an episode of The Twilight Zone from way back in the day that is one of my favorite episodes, and I think it's called The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, I believe it's called, which is interesting because the street that the people live on in this book is Maple Street, so I'm wondering if maybe that's where she kind of got that idea. But it's that story has more of a sci-fi sort of element to it, but the whole horror of that episode is the neighbors, what they do to each other when they turn on each other. And so this just has me really interested, and I can't wait to read it. Okay, and then this one I picked up at my grocery store. It was in the bargain bin. I mentioned it in a video recently, but I'll mention it again here. It's called Hello Kingdom by Kira Jane Buxton, and this is a book about, I believe it's about a sort of zombie apocalypse, but it is told through the eyes of a bird, and like a pet bird. And you're seeing this apocalypse go down and all these people turning into zombies through his eyes. And so he has sort of that bird mentality, animal mentality, and like him, and there's a dog that he is friends with, and a couple of our animals are kind of trying to figure out what's going on. And yeah, I've heard that this is really quirky, kind of weird. I have been warned also that there is some like animal violence in here, violence against animals in here, but I still really want to read it because it just sounds so weird, and I think I would really like it. So this next one I just want to quickly mention, because I got it from my sister-in-law, because she is in the process of just kind of trying to get rid of stuff because her and her wife are moving overseas, and so they want to get rid of like a bunch of stuff. So she we saw her recently and she had some stuff, one of which was this book she thought I would like, and it's called When the Emperor Was Divine by Julie Otsuka, and it's about a woman who in the 1940s, so during World War II, a Japanese woman and her family are put in an internment camp in Utah. So we know that that sort of thing actually happened during World War II in our country, and this book is a story about that. So it sounds like it's going to be upsetting. She said it was really good, and then I did some reading up on it, and yeah, it sounds like it's a pretty good book, so I'm excited to check it out. Okay, so then the last few books that I got were from Second and Charles. The first one is a classic that I really want to read this year, and that is Valet. Is it Valet or Valet? I think it's Valet. I don't know. Anyways, it's by Charlotte Bronte, and it's about a woman who goes to Valet to become an English teacher at an all-girls school, and the challenges that she sort of faces there. And I hear that this one is very close to Charlotte Bronte's real life experience, that she did a similar thing. So yeah, I have been really wanting to read more Charlotte Bronte because I absolutely love Jane Eyre. And so this one just appealed to me, so I can't wait to give it a try. So the next one that I picked up from Second and Charles is The House with a Clock in Its Walls by John Bellairs. And this is one that I picked up because Richard Denny, who has a YouTube channel, I can't remember what his YouTube channel is now because he changes the name of it a lot, but he's a huge fan of John Bellairs, and so I've heard him talk about him quite a bit. And this one also was made into a movie recently, and it's about an orphan who goes to live with his uncle and in this old house, and discovers that his uncle and his uncle's neighbor are witches, and they start to kind of mess around with magic. He starts to kind of mess around with it and learn about it, and he accidentally awakens this ghost in the house, and the ghost used to live in the house and had created this clock piece into the walls of the house that can somehow like end mankind or something like that. I don't know. So then they have to kind of like save the world. I don't know. It sounds really fun. It's a middle grade novel. But yeah, I'm excited to check it out. I would love to be able to read it during middle grade March, but I already have a lot planned for that. So I'll get to it eventually. And then the next one that I got is the 5th volume. Yes, the 5th volume in the American Vampire graphic novel series. I have not read volume 4 yet. I don't have volume 4 yet, but I picked up volume 5 because it was a used copy. It was a really good deal. So I figured I know I'm gonna read volume 4 and then I'll go to volume 5. But so this one I have no idea what it's about because I haven't read volume 4 yet. But this is the series that basically is about a new sort of breed of vampires that are created in America. And each volume kind of takes you through a different era of the country. So volume 3 was World War II. So it didn't actually take place in America. It was over in Europe, but still it dealt with Americans going over there. So this one I have no idea. I think volume 4, judging by the cover of volume 4, I'm guessing that one is like the 50s. So I have no idea what this one is, but this is a really fun series. I really like it. Yeah, so I'm excited to get to it. And then the last one I picked up, I was so excited to find because I read the first book in this series like a year or two ago. It might have been 2019 when I read the first one, but I really, really liked it. And this is a big, long series. And so when I came across the second book, used at Second and Charles, I had to get it. And this is Pray for Silence by Linda Castillo. This is the, like I said, second book in the Kate Burkholder, I think is her last name. Yeah, Kate Burkholder detective series. And what makes this series kind of interesting is that Kate, our main character, is a detective who was once Amish and lived in like an Amish community, left the community, became a cop and all that, and then now she is back in the area where she is like the chief of police or the detective is amongst the Amish people. So she has sort of this weird kind of relationship with the community because she was once a part of it but then left. So I don't remember, the first one there was a series of murders going on and she was trying to figure out what was going on. In this one, I think an entire family of 7 people is found murdered in their home. And then she's trying to find out who killed them and why. So the first one was pretty dark and gritty, and I just loved the whole setting and all of that. I really liked Kate as a character, so I'm excited to keep going with the series and find out what's going on with this one. All right, guys, so those are all the books that I have purchased recently. Like I said, I've been buying way more books than normal and way more books than I should. Have you? Let me know. Have you been buying more books than you normally do? I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna just blame the weather. It's cabin fever. I have no control. Anyways, let me know if you've read any of these books, which ones you think I should prioritize. And if you've bought any new books lately, let me know what you've been buying. I'd love to know. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you so much for watching.